So I think we'll just start. I believe the others will join us as we progress. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Today we get to celebrate our International Women's Day today as SheHacks Kenya, and we are happy to have some of the most integral women we have in the community to be part of our panelists today. So I think we'll just start. And for the audience, I'll just start off with a very obvious question. I'm sure some of us might have. So the very first question that I'll put out there is what do you understand by gender equality for a sustainable tomorrow? Because I'm sure most of us have seen the topic for today, which is the UN theme for this year. But what exactly does that mean? So maybe I'll start with Eve. You can tell us what your views on that.
Sorry, Nancy, I didn't catch that one. Can you just come back again?
Okay, yeah, I'm saying for today's topic, the UN theme for this year, International Women's Day for this year, is the gender equality for a sustainable tomorrow. So maybe you can share your views on what exactly that means, because I'm sure we have people who don't really get what's the whole idea behind that.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Thank you, Nancy, for that. From my belief, it is with an aspect of advocating for gender diversity. Like for an example, cybersecurity, you'd still find like in the different teams or different offices in Kenya you'll still find there's a lean team that are focusing more on women. And the other breaking the bias is, at least when you're designing a product, you have to be very centric in terms of, have I accommodated all the views that are there? And women being less represented, it's now comes into if we have more women, what happens? We can hear their story and we can also capture their needs. And secondly, we can have a different center towards designing products, even security products themselves, or things like that. So I believe from my perspective, that should be it. And maybe over to you, back to you, Nancy, again.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive and detailed answer. Maybe Sabrina, if you have something to add to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. I hope everyone is doing okay. First of all, it's so great to just have all of you ladies today. I hope everyone is doing well. So for the theme for this year, that is women breaking the bias. For me, I believe it's to be able to extend opportunities to women, and especially in tech, where sometimes we get to see like it is a male-dominated world. So making sure that we are extending opportunities to women, that both men and women are having the same opportunities, access to opportunities. And then even in terms of the pay gap, that we get to see women we are not having that big pay disparity between men and women, because having women integral in tech helps us to be able to even design products that are diverse for all of us. Back to you, Nancy.
Thank you for that, Sabrina. So for this next question, I'll give it to Wambiru. So Wambiru, have you encountered or experienced gender-based biasness at work or at home? And if so, how did you get past it?
Thank you so much, Nancy. If I've experienced gender biasness at work, kind of, I'll say kind of, but nowadays you'll find that you will feel it will come out indirectly, and some people also do it directly. How I got past it, honestly, there is no way of getting past it, because it will always, you always feel it. You will always, when you look at that person, you'll always see and have a look at what exactly are they thinking about you as a woman. So the one thing that I always do is just shut everything out. I shut all the comments. I shut everything around, and everything that anyone can say, and just be me, and remember that I am a strong woman, and this is a decision I made to be in the technology world, and I'll stand up for myself, and I'll keep pushing on regardless of what other people think. Yeah, over to you now.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I believe that's very important to always block out other voices and reaffirm yourself every other time, because what you think about yourself is what really matters at the end of the day. So maybe I would love to hear Restacuta, your view on the same, if you have encountered gender-based biasness, and how did you get past it?
Thank you so much, Nancy. I would love to say that, just like Wambiru said, sometimes it can be direct and other times it will come out indirectly. So I've worked in two places, not in tech and also in customer care department. So you'll find that in customer care department, I really didn't get that gender bias vibe, since people think that that's a female job, or maybe females or women can do better in that particular field. But once I transitioned to tech, you'll find that men will tend to, like, when they are sharing their tasks, they'll tend to give you like the lighter tasks or the less technical tasks. Maybe consciously or subconsciously they do it. Maybe they think you're not able to tackle those more technical tasks. But with my current boss, I would say he has really encouraged me and shown me that you can actually be better than everyone, or rather, don't look at yourself just because you're a woman in cybersecurity. Now you have to feel inferior compared to your fellow men. Because even when you look at it, working in cybersecurity, you find there are very few women, and you could feel threatened, but knowing what you bring to the table, or knowing your skills and what you're capable of, is what makes you keep going. And also having colleagues who like keep on pushing you and showing you that you're better and you can do it as a woman, and also believing in yourself really helps. So yeah, you could have faced it mostly indirectly. I wouldn't say it was intentional, but to some extent I felt like they were being biased just because I'm a woman. But I appreciate some of the men that have been with me in my career, mainly cybersecurity, because they've always showed me that, yeah, you can do it, you can make it. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that personal experience. I believe it's a light for someone who's on call, who's maybe streaming online, who have maybe encountered such employers before. So maybe this last question I'll ask Stella. Stella, assuming there's someone or there's a lady out there experiencing gender biasness at work, how would you advise them to get past it or deal with it? Okay, maybe I'll ask that question to Eve. Eve, for a lady who's going through or who's experiencing gender biasness at work, how do you advise for them to get past it or deal with it? Because other times you'll hear people will suggest you get defensive, should you be passive about it? Should you be actively defensive about it? So what's your take, and what do you suggest, or what would you advise this lady?
Oh, I have an interesting look to it in terms of, at times, as long as you can breathe. I know that's a little bit on the, it's more like a joke really. So as long as you can breathe, it's fine. But then again, it can affect someone emotionally, really. And with emotions, or with, or rather, let me just go back to, it shows the lack of empathy from the person who's subjecting that lady to the gender bias aspect, because we all deserve to be equal. So the best advice I can give is just try to understand the situation and at least talk to that person, like, why are they doing that to you? And the moment you get to understand where they come from also, it becomes easier to understand, or it becomes easier to have a clarity in your mindset also. And maybe, Nancy, there's something I forgot to mention earlier in terms of, I think based on this particular topic we are discussing, it's about breaking the bias. We should understand where that bias comes from. Because now in this case, the person who is subjecting the other party to that is, I'm a man and you're a woman, right? So with that, the bias here is around the biology aspect, where it's a lady vis-a-vis a man, right? So in such a situation, if both of them, if we come to a ground of understanding where the situation comes from, you're able to have a better perspective to it, and also move on, or just, not move on, but just have a clear mind, or have a clear perspective to this. And with a clear perspective, what happens? Your life becomes easier, and you're able to understand, why is this person really doing what they are doing? And don't build resentment, because that would end up being detrimental to you, and worse of it all, to your health. I believe I've given you the right answer. Nancy, over to you again.
Yeah, thank you for also mentioning about having grudges, because it's so easy to fall into that space, especially when it's kind of direct or indirect. So thank you for that comprehensive insight. So maybe this next question, I would love to take it to Wambiru. Wambiru, the question I have is, how does gender equality affect sustainable development?
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
I wanted to add on to the point that Eva said before I answer your question.
Okay.
For a lady who is going through gender biasness, maybe at work or anywhere, the one thing that has always helped me is realize that you are not the problem. The person who is committing that act or doing what they're doing, they are the problem. So don't look at it as if, oh, I don't know, my body, my what, it's because I'm a woman, it's because I'm what. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just because that person may have their own personal issues, and they have just decided to throw it out on you. So even when you encounter it, I will say the one thing that you should never do is engage into it, because the more you engage, the more it will affect you. What I normally do is continue walking. Wherever you are going, go. If you're not going anywhere, you'll rather go to the washroom or somewhere else where you can just go sit down, take a breath, and move on. The question, how gender equality affects sustainable development. One thing I would say is, without gender equality, then we will not see as much growth as we should see. Because without gender, without me as a woman feeling like I'm being involved. Like, for example, today, women cannot dwell into or get into politics, because most times they say, oh, women are too emotional. You can't even be a leader because women are too emotional. You have too much to take care of. You have kids, you have families. But realize also those men have kids and have families to feed, and they have issues at home also. So without us treating women as human beings, without us treating women as people who also have their own conscious mind and they know how to separate work from home life, then we will never have sustainable development. Women bring, the one thing I like for leaders or men leadership to understand is women bring a totally different perspective to whatever is out there. So let's say even in the government today, a woman, or even at work, at your workplace, whatever you bring to the table when the men are sitting down is so unique that they also realize that. And to them, that can be, how can I put it? The word, how can I put it? That can be the fear. Okay, it may not be fear, but it kind of is fear. So they like fear you, or they just see you as a threat. Yes, that is the word. They see you as a threat. So always realize wherever you are, put in whatever effort you have, and always walk out of that place knowing I have given the best that I had. I have done my all, and let the rest just be. Trust me, we'll always move on. You will, as one thing I always say, as a woman, we have a superpower of always moving on, no matter what happens in your life. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Wambiro. I believe that everything that you have said, and we'll actually help a lady on call who might be experiencing this, not to give up, to keep on moving, to keep on pushing, regardless of what comes their way. I would love for Stella Magana, maybe you can add something to what Wambiro has said.
What I can say is, when it comes to the gender bias, is when you look and view it and tell yourself that, this guy does not know. I'm assuming that you're receiving this gender biasness from a gentleman, the male gender, that this guy is coming from a point of low self-esteem, anxiety, and they're looking at you as a threat. So you tell yourself, this guy, I know what he's missing by putting me behind, by trying to undermine me. So until he realizes my worth, I won't engage in that conversation. And you move on happily, without resentment, without that negative force and energy that comes with trying to have those cold wars. So what I can say is, when you genuinely believe in yourself, and you receive such feedback from a gentleman, it's easier to deal with it when they find you already having yourself, your systems, in a manner that you believe in yourself.
Yeah, believing in yourself, like I've said, is key, because we'll definitely hear so many voices. So that actually brings another question, and this one I'll give it to Sabrina. So Sabrina, there's a lady who wants to join tech, who's just getting into the technology industry. She's very new to the field, maybe a recent graduate. So how can this lady who's very new, who's getting into the technology industry, overcome gender-based biasness? And what would you tell this young lady? Because we hear stories every other time on social media, that this is happening in the workplace. So what would you tell this lady?
Yeah, thanks, Nancy. Actually, wanted to add on to what you asked Eve, but I think I can just merge it to what I'm going to be speaking about right now. So allow me to just take you back a little bit. And back then, when I was an intern, I was just starting out. I think the only thing I knew about cybersecurity was the CIA triad. So I was very, very green, and I was very, very shy. But now, in terms of how can a lady who is now joining the cybersecurity industry overcome this gender bias? The first thing is, and I believe like all of us as women, we should always help one another. I personally, I know that I am a product of, first of all, Evelyn Kilel and some other ladies that I've got the good opportunity to work with. So as ladies, I think we should always just help one another go up. I remember when I was very new in a team, I was so scared and very afraid, but I think I got to speak to most of the people who held my hand when I was really new in the team, Evelyn and some other ladies. I remember even Evelyn always told me, make sure that you're not, solving problems alone. Always involve me and I can help you. Okay, now back to the gender bias. I think first of all, I think we need to put ourselves out there, and we need to, just make our work speak for itself. Ask questions. I think, yeah, go ask questions. Try to learn even from these men. Yeah, just try to learn. And the other thing is, if you feel like there's somehow you're feeling like there's a gender bias directed towards you, one thing that has helped me is that speaking to a fellow lady. I know right now in the team that I am in, I believe we're only 3 ladies, and subconsciously I just started feeling like the way the men are relating to one another is not the way that they're relating to me. So, I got to sit down with a fellow lady, and then we were discussing, and we actually realized that we both feel the same way. So we got to talking like, what can we do? And I think it's just, it doesn't feel good when you get to that point and you're sitting and you're feeling like, we have to do something to make ourselves feel respected. I don't think it really needs to get to that point, but I got to speak to her, and then together we just came up with ways of, just how we are going to be helping one another, and just making sure that we feel as important as the rest of the team, and we still contribute the same that the rest of the men in our team are also contributing. So I think just having those conversations with our fellow ladies, making sure that we work hard, and just like Christine said, let's work hard, let's make our work speak for itself, and let's support one another. If you see that there's a new lady in your team, make sure that you're at least one of the first people to reach out to her, talk to her, hold her hand, and just walk the journey with her. If you need something, make sure that you assist her. Yeah, back to you, Nancy.
Thank you for that, Sabrina, for sharing that personal experience. I believe everything that you have said, the fact of supporting one another and helping one another, that has been like the whole idea behind what we have been doing as She Hacks. So I would love to give Rista Kuta, would love to hear your view, and maybe you can add on to what Sabrina has said.
Thank you so much, Nancy. So the advice I would love to give to someone who is joining the tech field is that as much as the inferiority complex is there, don't let it overwhelm you. Always try to work hard and let your results speak for you, because when you're very confident in your work, when you really know that you're skilled here, it's going to give you the confidence to even speak and stand in front of people with a certain when you're speaking or when you're trying to do a certain topic. Also, the other thing I would like to say is learn as much as you can, because for ladies, sometimes it's you have to work extra harder compared to men for you to prove yourself. Although it's changing as time goes by, but learn as much as you can. Also, put yourself out there, just like Sabrina said. Try to create content. Try to engage yourself in the tech-related events and all that, so that you can be able to, people can know you, people can recognize you. And even when you come, maybe when your name is mentioned somewhere, someone will be like, yeah, I know her, and I know that they are skilled in 1, 2, 3. Also, ladies can be each other's enemy, in that you find that you really have someone who is struggling in a certain area, and you as a lady, you really don't want to pick them up. You feel, or you see them as your competition. So what I would say is, let us also as ladies be our sisters keeper. Let us help and uplift other ladies, and let us all grow together, because my success will not be limited by helping another person. So that's what I can say, or advise someone who is trying to join or who is new in the tech field.
Thank you for that. So for this next question, I think I'll direct it to Eve. So the question I have is, personally, considering you have worked for different companies, you have done much in your career journey. So do you think that the private sector or even the government is doing enough to achieve gender equity? And what do you think they should do to improve on this?
Interesting. I think I have two biasness to it. I've seen the private sector has really tried at best to create some essence of diversity in terms of the different areas with regards to, like, I can speak of my team right now. We are about not three ladies, but we're about half. We are a team of 8 people, and we're already 4 ladies in that team. That means there's so much diversity for the different organizations, especially the most mature ones, the like of Google, Facebook, Microsoft. They're really big on diversity. And then I'd speak of Safaricom. And secondly, for Safaricom, for example, we're struggling to get the required talent in terms of ladies, women specifically. And it goes to an extra mile of like, we have She Hacks. Why can't we pick ladies from She Hacks? But now the sad part to it is, I think ladies are a little bit timid in terms of they're very afraid of venturing into new opportunities or going an extra mile to apply for that job. So the key thing that was lacking there was you are not getting ladies applying for the roles that are there or that are coming up. So it ends up by default, of course, going to the men, which again, it's a biasness we as women create for ourselves. So now in that case, I think most organizations have really tried at best to bring in women. And it's a good place to adapt that, and it creates more creativity towards the different products you're designing, the different security solutions you're coming up with. So with that, I think Nancy, I've been able to give you an answer, but yes, that's it from my side. Over to you.
Thank you for sharing that. Maybe I'll invite Stella. Stella, maybe you can add on to what Eve has said.
It's actually true, because when you look at, I'll just echo what she said. When you look at She Hacks, and especially physical events or CTFs that are meant for women, you will find like there are CTF groups Kenyan that are male only, and if there's a lady, it may be one lady. I've not heard of a famous CTF group that's all ladies. Yeah, so I feel like we are really timid. We really do not believe in ourselves. We really second guess ourselves. I like giving this example. For those that are Kenyans or have studied in Kenya, whether in their campus years or high school, no, so mostly in high school, campus, when a lecturer asks a question and you want to answer it, before you shoot your hand up to answer, you tend to find yourself confirming your answer is true with a gentleman, whether it's the one you're seated next to or behind or in front. So it just shows it's something that is ingrained in us that as a lady, you're never too sure. And the only place to get assurance is from a gentleman. So it goes beyond government. It goes beyond organizations, as much as they play a very key role, but we have seen the efforts. There's some companies, they actually hire 1:1 when it comes to gender. No matter how good, say let's say the candidates they interviewed, the best 3 are male, and the fourth who was good at it was a female. They'll take the best number 1 male, and that female was number 4, just for the sake of gender. But now when it comes to now going for these opportunities, you'll always find the numbers are always dominated by men. Women don't apply. I'll give a recent example. We are celebrating International Women's Day. There was a celebration in early Feb of women in STEM. And I happened to be in an event where there were speakers speaking, and I happened to also speak in that event. And believe it or not, the room was filled by men. There were a handful of women, yet it was International Women's Day of Women in STEM Day. And then during the session, the ones who were asking the questions of the gentlemen, no lady raised their hand up to ask a question. Can you believe it? And no lady approached me, not that I want to be approached and famous, but no lady approached me, for further discussions like, hey, what do you think about this? And all that. It is actually a gentleman who came, took my number. We are currently in conversation about different topics. So it just shows that no matter what is done externally, by government, by schools, by organizations like SheHack, internally, women are still their own reason why they're not getting that equity that they seek. That's my honest opinion. What you, Nancy?
Thank you. I'll take this next question to Ambiru. From what Eve and Stella have clearly shown us is that we can be our own enemy sometimes. As ladies, we are not ready to take up these opportunities. So Ambiru, what do you think would be like a solution to this?
Thank you, Nancy. First, to touch on about the private and the government sections, I will say the private sectors have really, really, really emerged and have tried and put in their best when it comes to everything, and they even have policies when it comes to hiring, which I applaud them for that. When it comes to the government, we have regulations. We have the constitution that speaks about some couple of things about gender equity, but okay, I'm not sure how to put this, but one thing I will say is I have not seen the government putting enough effort to implement this constitution when it comes to certain sectors. That is one thing that I can genuinely say I have not seen that effort, and I would really like for the government to put in more effort when it comes to implementing these rules and regulations and the constitution itself. Your question was, what can we do to avoid it, right?
Or improve the situation. How do you change the mindset of these ladies that they can actually take up these roles and be good at them?
I can give a trick that I use. What I usually say is, okay, let's say, for example, I'm in a room and we are having a meeting and maybe someone asks a question and you yourself, you know you have an answer, but you're too scared, because I also get that anxiety of even talking in a meeting or even talking right now. I have so much anxiety. But one thing I usually say is do it. Do it afraid, but just do it. No matter if you have fear, if you have anxiety, just do it. Trust you me, you will have so much peace knowing that you took that step rather than not taking it at all. If, let's say today, I did not actively apply for the role, let's say at the company I was at before, I did not apply for the role at the company I'm at right now, I will not be the person that I am today. And that is why I usually just say, do it, no matter how much afraid you are. If you see a role today, let's say you have sat down and you are looking for a job, and you have seen a role that, let's say maybe it says they want someone with 2 years or 3 years experience, and you know you have 1 year experience, why not apply? This is exactly what men do. Men do it afraid, but they still do it. They will make sure they have put in the work. They will make sure they have applied, no matter if they have, so long as they have met at least 70% of the qualifications, then why not? Why should you not apply? Let it be that the company, I did not fit in, but let you be at peace. You know that at least I applied. You know, me, I usually say, it is okay for me to get the rejection, because at least with the rejection, I know it's okay. Next time I'll try. But not me sitting down where I am and I'm like, I want this, but I don't want to get that. So what do you expect to be done? The government can do so much, can do so little, but all the work remains with you. May my takeaway for all the ladies in this session today is do it. Do it afraid, do it anxious, do it whatever, but just do it. That's all.
Thank you. Maybe if Kyuta or Sabrina, you have something to add to that, because I believe that's an issue that's happening. Well, we have She Hacks, what we do as She Hacks, which is mainly to support women in cybersecurity. But again, if it's from the mindset, how do we change that? How do we encourage these ladies to take up these positions, put themselves out there more? So Sabrina.
Yeah, I'd actually like to just reiterate what Wambiru has said, because I feel like she's hit like all the right spots. The first thing that she said is do it afraid. And one of the things that I'm finding works for me nowadays is doing it afraid and doing it scared. Last week I was even thinking to myself, maybe I should just tweet how nowadays I just like doing things scared, doing things while afraid. Yeah, just do it. Go for that meeting, even if you're scared to the core. If something is not clear to you, ask the questions, get the clarification you need, especially when we are in a position where we are having like a lot of opportunities coming our way. For example, right now we have She Hacks. I would like to, I would want to believe that, a lot of ladies would want to be part of She Hacks, attend the sessions, learn, give talks. Yeah, if there's an opportunity, take it and run with it. Yeah, is there free certification being offered? Yeah, I'm signing myself up for that, and I'm doing it, and I'm getting that certification, and I'm going to study and get the next one and the next one and the next one. If there's a job, I am going to apply for it. If anything happens, then what's the worst thing that could happen? I could, get a rejection and learn from it. And I'll move on from that. And the next interview, I'll have, just gained more ideas on what best to do for the next interview that I'm preparing for. So yeah, I wouldn't even change what Fambiru said. Just do it scared, do it afraid. See, if you see any opportunities, just take them. take those opportunities and run with them and don't even look back. Yeah.
Thank
Nancy, sorry.
Yes. Okay, sure,
I would
sure.
like
Just
maybe just a point that hasn't been touched on, and this I learned from Dana. Dana is from Microsoft. We were having a chat, and she told me one time that you can never be confident in something that you really don't know or something that you really don't understand well. So you find that some of us ladies will just touch on a topic or on something and then say, that's enough. You don't really need to go in depth. That's the difference between most ladies and what men do. Men are more curious. Men will go the extra mile to do more research. So you find that because you don't feel confident in whatever you know, you won't put yourself out there as much. So what she was trying to tell me is, for you to be confident, for you to gain more confidence in things, you must really try to be skilled in them. You must really try and understand them. So in the case of maybe cybersecurity, if you're going for penetration testing and red teaming and all that, you have to understand, you have to have the skills, you have to be knowledgeable in that particular section. So don't just go without the knowledge. Of course, it will affect your confidence. Also, the issue of women wanting to be pushed around. So you find, like, for instance, I put out we need people to write articles for She Hacks, and I posted that on our She Hacks group. But you find people will sign up, people will give you feedback, but now when it gets to doing the work, when it gets to writing the article and submitting it on time, then that's where we draw the line. Like you find that ladies don't really want to put in the extra effort that I find men are putting in. I would say I'm also a victim sometimes, but I really try and work on that. So I would say, as much as we want gender equity or gender equality, we must also be putting the work, especially when it comes to the tech industry. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate the insights that you have all shared, because personally, I think I'm a living testament of what She Hacks can do. I'm a product of what the community can do and the amazing women that we have here. If yeah, maybe you can add something to that.
Okay, I wanted to add something, especially what Rastakita said. I believe for everyone, not maybe everyone, you've been there somehow. Even for me, for example, I've always tried new opportunities, like in terms of my jobs, rather, it's always been a change, a new thing every other time. So it pushes you out of the comfort zone in terms of you have to try, read up, really know your concepts. And my other mentors at work right now, they keep on saying, the more you know something, the more you become so confident about it. And thanks, Rastakita, for mentioning that. It's up to you to decide to sit down and read about it and master the concept. That's how you become confident in what you do. And never discount someone else's effort. Always keep on trying, keep on doing your research. Just do the right thing that's supposed to be done. Yes, that's it.
I have a question. I'm asking on behalf of someone. What do you tell a lady who is like, okay, when do you feel you've mastered? When do you feel, now I'm at a position where I can speak? Now I feel like I am good at this. When is that line? How do you do that line? Because I know a number of people who have enough knowledge to do things, to apply for jobs, to apply to speak, to write an article, but they feel I don't have enough. So where do you do that line?
Well, maybe I can answer that. Well, for me personally, when I joined my current job, I found out that most of my work that I was tasked to do was in trainings, technical trainings. And in the beginning, I wasn't as confident, and I found myself, even the content that I knew, it could evaporate, and I end up even sometimes saying things that don't even really make sense. So what happens is, with practice, maybe in this context of training and also trying to understand a concept, is you'll always feel when you're confident. I believe, like let's say it's something to do with blue teaming, and I really understand how to go about log analysis. So I know this is what you do, 1, 2, 3. I know in case I face a certain problem, this is how I go about it. So also making mistakes and being able to overcome them, or rather rectify them, makes you understand and even know that your confidence level is going up. So the more practice you put into it, the more research you do, the more mistakes you make and learn from them and also try and rectify them, the more you'll feel, now I feel I'm getting confident in a certain area. Now I feel I can do it better compared to in the beginning. You can always feel when you're getting confident in a certain area, I would say.
If I can add on,
Sure.
Okay, for me personally, I can tell you, let's say, for example, when it comes to being a SOC analyst, or being a blue teamer, with the years, I have become better and good at it. But there will come a time where, let's say, a challenge comes up and I'll be like, oh my God, I don't know if I have the skills to do this. I don't know if I have the energy. I'm not sure if I can do this. I just don't know. What helps me, and at that point, you'll find that, goodness, I have forgotten every simple concept that I know. So what helps me is take a deep breath. If it is you are a master of, let's say, AWS, then that's why I always insist, do it afraid. If you're a master of AWS, or if you have been eyeing for this one company that you want to work in, please just do it. What is holding you back? What is the worst that can happen? It reminds me of a time where I was doing a talk on malware analysis. I can say I'm kind of an intermediate when it comes to malware analysis, but the minute that it got, when I sat down to write that presentation, trust me, I forgot every concept, including what is a malware. And you find yourself Googling, you're like, oh my God, how am I doing something for malware analysis and I don't even know what is the definition of a malware? But that is the afraid part of you taking most of yourself. It is taking up most of your energy. It is taking up everything that you know. You even end up forgetting everything. Please do it. If it is that certification, just read about it and do it. Okay, if you fail, then let's move on. We can redo or retake the exam, and next time you'll do better. So that's what I can say. You will know, yes, as Kyuta has said, you will know when you're a master of it. Plus, what also helps is when you're learning a certain concept, you will never be 100% sure, or it will take you so many fall downs to be able to understand that particular concept. But when you have mastered it, trust me, you will know you have mastered it. But now when it comes to taking action, that is when you have so many doubts. And that is why I insist, do it afraid. Girl, do it afraid.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Alvira. I'll just read what is in the chat. Alvira said there's never a great chance to speak. Pick the challenge, share what you have. Totally second that. Thank you for that. Anton, up to now, I'm still afraid of applying to a tech firm despite invitation. I hope everything that the ladies have shared has really boosted your confidence and your courage. Go for it afraid, they have said. Stella, would love to add something. Maybe you can add to that, and maybe you can also share advice or a parting shot.
I'll share a very personal story to help someone. I believe that ladies who are watching us online, YouTube, and in the Zoom call, and I believe they're like, oh my God, they're so articulate. Oh my God, they can speak English several sentences for a long period of time. You know, I can imagine what's running through some ladies' minds. And I remember when I was joining campus, some go do ICDL in a time, some are going to do French classes, some going to do driving classes. So I was like, well, I know how to take a career in tech. And there was a school that was offering a course in coding, coding of apps. I wouldn't name the school. And I was extremely excited to join the class. I went, and I remember I was the youngest. No, I was not the youngest. I remember there were like several people who have just left high school. But in some of the classmates in that particular course were people who are studying computer science, some in third year, some in second year. And here I am from high school joining such a class. And it was extremely intimidating. It was extremely mentally stressful. And it was so bad that I did not finish. I did not graduate that course. I remember we were told to do a project, and the project was coding an e-commerce website, and then turn it into an app. And I remember I started the coding, and funny thing, the pages were there, you know, and I was just like, no, I can't do it. I am not as skilled as these people. They're in campus already. They're so good at it. They even stare at their computers. They're staring at it in a manner that they know what they're doing. Me, I was second guessing myself. It was so bad. I did not graduate. And I feel like we should have a session where we should just share our failures. Yeah. And looking back, if I had somebody who could tell me, actually, Stella, you can do it. Actually, do it afraid. Actually, just submit what you have done. I wish somebody was there. And I hope that, like Nancy says, that for those who are afraid to apply to those jobs, just do it afraid. Because the more you do it, the more the fear diminishes. It now stops becoming scary. Then it starts building confidence. Day one, you're a little bit confident. Day two, you're a little bit more confident. Then by the time it's a month in, you're so like, wait, where's that job? Where's that interview? Like, for example, if you're looking for a job and you're so sure you're not qualified for it, apply. Even if you know you're going for that interview to fail, go for that interview. See yourself answering these questions. Call a friend, tell them, hey, these are a set of questions I've noticed interviewers ask. Ask me, then answer that friend. Do a mock interview. And like Wambiru says, practice, and by the time you know it, it comes growing. It does not come in, like a direct injection like, wow, yeah, now I'm confident. It's such a long process that can be shortened with practice and just putting yourself out there. And maybe that personal story, I believe somebody is encouraged, and I'd like to hear Sabrina has to say.
Thank you. I really like and enjoy everything that you're all sharing with us, because I know it will help someone who's on call. I don't know, Maria, maybe you can allow Michael to unmute. I think he has something to add. If not, maybe, okay, maybe if it's a question, you can just type it in the chat. Okay, so maybe I'll invite Sabrina. Maybe you can share one last advice or parting shot with us.
Yeah, I'd just like to add a little bit to what Stella said. So back then, when I was in campus, as I'd mentioned earlier, I was really green. Then I saw this advert for an internship for where I currently work. So at the time, I think getting that internship was literally my dream. But I didn't have the confidence to go ahead with it. And I think just because of where I'd come from earlier, I just thought, okay, maybe these opportunities just go to, people who are probably way better than me, or people that have come from USIU or Strath. So, I'm just never going to make it. But what helped me is that I took just the first step. And then the first step turned to the second step. And then the second step turned to the third step. And then I got the internship. And then when I got the internship, it was so dreadful for me to wake up every single day, because I used to be so shy and so anxious. I couldn't even, just having a normal conversation with someone was something that was very difficult for me. So the first 2 weeks, but by the end of the 3 months, it actually got better. And that internship that I just took that first step and just put the fear aside for 1 minute to just apply for it has actually just built this path that I am on, and even has just helped even to just where I am right now. So to the guy, I think in the chats who is feeling like they're just not feeling confident enough to apply for that job, just take that first step. You never know. For me, I took that first step, and it just I think just the direction that my life was going in changed to a totally different direction that I'm very grateful for. So just take that first step. You never know what is going to happen if you take it. So in terms of the parting shots, I think for the ladies, just to add on what Kita said, I think we need to invest in ourselves and upskill more, even if it's just taking like 1 hour in a day. Build a habit of just studying something. Share whatever you're learning. Let's invest in ourselves. Let's invest in ourselves, yeah, so that we can keep moving forward. And let us also just be supportive towards other ladies. I know even me, where I am right now, it's because of the ladies that have supported me. Like I mentioned, I am a product of all the ladies that I've worked with. They have really supported me, and it's something that I think I will forever be grateful for. Support the ladies that are coming behind you. Right now, I'm taking just an active role in supporting even the interns that we're having right now. Just stop supporting them, especially the ladies, because I know I was once there, and I know that I needed the help. So let us support one another, and let us invest in ourselves to continue upskilling and staying relevant in tech, and by extension, the cybersecurity industry.
Thank you so much for that, Sabrina. Cuta, Mr. Cuta, maybe you can add something, an advice, a parting shot that would love to share with the audience.
Well, for me, keep trying, and one day when the timing is right, it will all make sense, and it will all happen for you. And I wish everyone all the best in all their endeavors. That's it.
Okay, I think I'll give this chance to Eve. Maybe you can share one last advice or a parting shot with the audience, something you would love to tell them.
Thank you, Nancy. For the audience, there's a part for asking questions at times. Okay, as I was transitioning to my new role, I was told if you don't know anything, and you need to unlearn as much as you learned, whichever place you were at before. So you need to ask the little, even the most stupid questions you can ask. It's okay, no one will judge you for that, but it shows that there's an interest in you that is willing to learn, willing to push other people to help you, because no one is, every other person is always willing to help you at any point in time. So with that, it shows your willingness to push further, or to learn, and people will be more generous to give you resources, give you additional elements to learn. And there's a part for unlearning things. If you've learned a certain bad habit wherever you were or whichever place you've ever been, you have to unlearn that. So you have to consider all aspects to it. Keep on learning and keep on unlearning things. That's how you will grow. And so today we had Lawrence. I don't know if we have Lawrence from Silent Sec. That I wanted to remember to say before I closed up my side. Lawrence Muchilwa, do we have him? Maybe you can raise your hand. We have Lawrence Mutisia and Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence, we have him.
It's the plain Lawrence.
Okay. So Lawrence, do you want to unmute and maybe add something for us? Because you've been very supportive of She Hacks. Oh, okay. Let me ask you to unmute. Okay. Go ahead, Lawrence. Lawrence, we lost you. You can unmute, I think.
Sorry, I was still on mute.
Okay.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
I don't think there's really much to add. It was actually interesting to listen to Restacuta and Wambiru. I think they have covered almost everything I would have shared. So from my end, it's just to, if I was to share anything, it's actually to echo what everyone in this call has said, especially the ladies from SHIACS. The only different thing I might add is for the guys in the call. So I'll just say that for guys, we have to be also consciously aware that the way we have been brought up, we have been brought up with a lot of biasness in regards to how we view ladies, how we view their achievements, their abilities. And if you're not consciously aware of that, and you're not consciously trying to self-correct that, you might find yourself actually introducing the negativity. You might be the enabler to some of these vices that constantly undermine the ladies. So that's just one thing I wanted to add. I hope that was audible.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much, Lawrence. Like Eve has mentioned that you have been supporting us very much. We appreciate that a lot. So I believe what you have said is both insight for the guys and also for the ladies also on call, and also for those who are streaming on YouTube. I'll invite maybe Wambiru. Wambiru, I'm sure you have something to share as maybe we almost conclude the session.
Yeah, I would say the theme of this session was gender equality for sustainable development. My point to the gentleman is let's try view women as human beings. Let's try understand where women are coming from and stop looking at your side alone of the story. And also for the ladies, no matter what kind of biasness you face out here, I always say, as women, we have a superpower of moving on regardless. Trust me, no matter what happens, you will move on and you will be stronger and wiser and better than before. So I will just say, no matter, just move on instead of always being there, always seeing as if you're the one in the wrong, as if you being a woman is always a problem. Stop. Trust me, you're not the problem. Always look at them as the problem. And that is how you'll move on in the workplace and even out here. Yeah, that's all I would say. And if it is applying for those jobs, please do it afraid. No one knows what they are doing. Trust me, everyone out here is trying to figure themselves out as they move on. So even you, just keep moving and stop worrying about what will happen. Let it happen. Then you will learn from that. That's all.
For that, Wambiro, I'll invite Stella. Stella, for the last parting short advice you'd love to share with the audience. Okay, I'll invite, we have Laura on call. So I don't know if you're able to unmute.
Oh, thank you. All right. So it's so good to be here. I came in late. I'm sorry, but I am so happy that we are having this conversation. First of all, I know it's a few days late, but happy International Women's Day to all the members of SheHacks, all the planning team, the leadership team at SheHacks Kenya. We have witnessed amazing growth over the past 3 years because of that spirit of community and community building, and I'm so happy about that. I know we do have a long way to go in terms of bridging the gender gap. We still see a lot of gender imbalance in the tech industry in general, but looking at the positive side, we are having conversations around it. We are creating communities to address this gap, and I feel like that is to be celebrated. And for the women who are maybe feeling some sort of imposter syndrome because you're not very confident in your work or society is trying to bring you down, please note that there's always other women who are there to support you. We are a community. We are sisters in the business, and so always reach out. Always have a mentor, a woman mentor. It's amazing to have a professional mentor, but sometimes I have learned over the past few weeks that having a woman to mentor you, it slaps different. It's so different because they understand the struggles, especially if they've been there before you. They understand something that maybe not other people will understand. And so always know that there's someone out there to guide you, to help you, and there's a community where you belong. And yes, let us grow with each other. Happy International Women's Day. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you. And a big thanks to our panelists who are doing amazing things in the field. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your view and opinions with today's with this year's theme for International Women's Day. So, and also thank you so much, everyone who has been with us throughout the session. This session we are live on YouTube, so this will also be available after the session. If you would love to revert and maybe listen to it over and over again. So thank you so much, everyone. We will maybe have the next session next week on Tuesday for the campus sessions. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Good night.
Bye. Good night.